Welcome back. Today marks 3 years of the Pulwama attack, and while the entire nation pays tributes to the 40 personnel of the CRPF who were martyred in the attack, netas continue to politicize the issue and doubt the valor of our forces. And the doubters lobby today should listen to these braves for whom nation comes first.
The second surgical strike was carried out by Air Force. They were able to decimate Jaish-e-Mohammed headquarters. I am right now here at the Channi CRPF center. It was from this place on that fateful morning when the bus had left along with the 40 CRPF personnel. It reached Lethpura. That was the time when suicide bomber banged into the vehicle and 40 CRPF personnel lost their lives. Right now I'm joined by senior CRPF officer Kamal Sisodia. I'll be talking to her. Today is a very important day that everybody is paying homage. 1.3 billion Indians are paying homage to these CRPF martyrs.
Jai Hind, myself Kamal Sisodia from 76 Battalion CRPF. Today, it's definitely a great day to reckon upon and memorize the sacrifices of martyrs of Pulwama, where the 40 brave men of CRPF laid down their lives for the altar of their duties. And out of them, 5 martyrs were from our battalion, that is 76 Battalion from Jammu and Kashmir. At one point of time, where the people in the world are celebrating Valentine's Day on 14th February, we, the soldiers of the nation, and so many our citizens of India, we are all paying homage to the martyrs of Pulwama.
आज अपने लोगों को याद कर रहे हैं, आप क्या कहना चाहेंगे?
भाई हमारे जवान को जो अटैक हुआ है वो पीछे से हुआ है, सामने से होता तो उनको अच्छा रिस्पांस करते। और दूसरा ये शहीदों पे जो पॉलिटिक्स होती है वो नहीं होनी चाहिए, इससे हम लोगों को बहुत हर्ट होता है।
उस टाइम का जो माहौल है, जो उस टाइम का, वो तो आज भी बड़ा दुख लगता है सर उस चीज़ को देख के कि जो जवान हमारे साथ ड्यूटी कर रहे थे वो आज उस कंडीशन उन्होंने सर जिन्होंने सर हमारे लिए खुद यहाँ से मिठाई का और उसका एक साथ हमने जो जश्न देखा था कि इकट्ठे बैठ के मनाएंगे, और वो इस हाल में मनाने का बहुत ही दर्दनाक और उस बड़ा घटना हुई। जैसे ही मेरे को फ़ोन पर पता चला और मैंने इनको फ़ोन करने की कोशिश की तो ऑलरेडी सर इनका फ़ोन स्विच ऑफ, और जैसे पता चले तो बड़ी ही जैसे कि शरीर बिल्कुल साथ है दिए नहीं सर बिल्कुल।
There is nothing wrong with Mr. Rahul Gandhi and asking for the proof of surgical strike. What was wrong? Even now I am asking. Come on, let the government of India show. It is the responsibility. There are apprehensions among the people. BJP makes mispropaganda, false propaganda. That is why people are asking for a proof. And in democracy, you are not a monarch. You are not a king.
Mr. KCR, the Chief Minister of Telangana, on a day when we are commemorating the anniversary of Pulwama, when we are paying homage to the martyrs of Pulwama, goes ahead and questions the surgical strike, demands proof for surgical strike, only and only to defend Rahul Gandhi's atrocious commentary against the Indian Army, calling the surgical strike Khoon ki Dalali, and the most shocking act by a chief minister, and only because he wants to target Himanta Biswa Sarma. To echo the line of Pakistan, this has become the DNA of certain political parties like the Congress and KCR and his party.
So while netas continue to demand proof of the surgical strike and doubt the valor of our forces, take a look at this ground report. Take a look at the message that is being sent by those braves for whom the nation comes first, appealing to these netas to stop politicizing.
The second surgical strike was carried out by Air Force. They were able to decimate Jaish-e-Mohammed headquarters. I am right now here at the Channi CRPF center. It was from this place on that fateful morning when the bus had left along with the 40 CRPF personnel. It reached Lethpura. That was the time when suicide bomber banged into the vehicle and 40 CRPF personnel lost their lives. Right now I'm joined by senior CRPF officer Kamal Sisodia. I'll be talking to her. Today is a very important day that everybody is paying homage. 1.3 billion Indians are paying homage to these CRPF martyrs.
Jai Hind, myself Kamal Sisodia from 76 Battalion CRPF. Today, it's definitely a great day to reckon upon and memorize the sacrifices of martyrs of Pulwama, where the 40 brave men of CRPF laid down their lives for the altar of their duties. And out of them, 5 martyrs were from our battalion, that is 76 Battalion from Jammu and Kashmir. At one point of time, where the people in the world are celebrating Valentine's Day on 14th February, we, the soldiers of the nation, and so many our citizens of India, we are all paying homage to the martyrs of Pulwama.
आज अपने लोगों को याद कर रहे हैं, आप क्या कहना चाहेंगे?
भाई हमारे जवान को जो अटैक हुआ है वो पीछे से हुआ है, सामने से होता तो उनको अच्छा रिस्पांस करते। और दूसरा ये शहीदों पे जो पॉलिटिक्स होती है वो नहीं होनी चाहिए, इससे हम लोगों को बहुत हर्ट होता है।
उस टाइम का जो माहौल है, जो उस टाइम का, वो तो आज भी बड़ा दुख लगता है सर उस चीज़ को देख के कि जो जवान हमारे साथ ड्यूटी कर रहे थे वो आज उस कंडीशन उन्होंने सर जिन्होंने सर हमारे लिए खुद यहाँ से मिठाई का और उसका एक साथ हमने जो जश्न देखा था कि इकट्ठे बैठ के मनाएंगे, और वो इस हाल में मंजर बड़ा बहुत ही दर्दनाक और उस बड़ा घटना हुई। जैसे ही मेरे को फ़ोन पर पता चला और मैंने इनको फ़ोन करने की कोशिश की तो ऑलरेडी सर इनका फ़ोन स्विच ऑफ, और जैसे पता चले तो बड़ी ही जैसे कि शरीर बिल्कुल साथ है दिए नहीं सर बिल्कुल।
Let's go across to Pradeep Datta, who in fact got us those reactions, and an extremely emotional moment for the Jawans, for the personnel of the CRPF who've lost their friends, their colleagues in the Pulwama attack, and they are also, extremely shocked at the kind of political developments that are taking place in this country. Still, Netas demanding proof of the surgical strike.
Yes, since morning I had been interacting with the CRPF personnel. They say it's really hurting and painful when they see how the opposition party leaders, they keep on asking for evidence and support. I interacted with wife of the martyr Constable Nasir Ahmed. She said, what kind of evidence they really need? My husband sacrificed his life for the country, and I want my son also to don uniform and serve motherland India. That is the spirit that they are carrying in their heart. But unfortunately, these opposition party leader, whether it's Rahul Gandhi, whether it's KCR, they're all trying to politicize valor of our soldiers. Everybody knows that how after Uri bomb attack, that there was a paradigm shift in the military strategy. The first surgical strike was carried out by army. They crossed line of control when many of their launch pads were destroyed. And after that Pulwama bombing, another surgical strike was carried out, this time by Indian Air Force. They went deep inside the Pakistan territory, and in Balakot, headquarters of Jaish-e-Mohammed was decimated. So instead of in fact appreciating their role and paying homage to them, remembering their supreme sacrifice, what actually is happening is that these people are raising questions over the supreme sacrifice. They're questioning, they're asking for evidence, they're asking for support. That's really painful, and I agree with what one of the panelists said. That is not the DNA in the DNA, but this has become a standard operation procedure. Whenever elections are around the corner, they start asking this question because they feel that way they will be able to guard the votes.
This is not just an insult of the martyrdom and the bravery of our Jawans, Pradeep. This is also the opposition giving a handle to Pakistan by doubting the surgical strike.
Yes, you are absolutely right, because they are not serving the country. They are neither serving the interests of our soldiers. They're only serving the interests of people of Pakistan and their politicians there, because Pakistan always wanted to raise doubts and question mark over the surgical strike, because they know that this had been conducted in the heart of heart. They very well know. Everybody remembers that what really Imran Khan did after the surgical strike. He addressed the assembly in Pakistan occupied Jammu and Kashmir, where he expressed concern that maybe India's next target will be to take away Pakistan occupied Jammu and Kashmir. That means they too have, with the heart of heart, admitted this thing. But when our politicians raise questions, they take up this matter in the United Nations Security Council, because after that second surgical strike, they kept on saying that only few trees were destroyed. And because initially they were saying no such thing had happened and not a single aircraft had crossed the line of control. Later on, they said, yes, the bomb was dropped, but only a few trees were destroyed. So they will keep on cooking stories, but our politicians are only providing them handle, and they are only helping, serving their interests rather than serving interests of the country. I think this is the time when we need to stand with the soldiers who are always there for the nation, for whom the nation comes first. They are the one who take bullets from their bodies, stand like a rock, and they always are there for the country, for the peace and prosperity. And CRPF is the largest counter-insurgency force so far, the terror operations in Kashmir Valley are concerned.
Stay on with us. We also have RSN Singh joining us in the broadcast, and it is because of that valor and bravery and the supreme sacrifice made by our warriors, our Jawans, RSN Singh, that Pakistan constantly lives in fear. They live in fear that India might strike again. And here in this country, there are politicians who are demanding proof of surgical strike. There can be no bigger insult to the martyrdom of those braves.
I'm inclined to believe that this culture some politicians have inherited is because there was a transfer of power from the British to India. And these politicians, they moved into the same bungalows that were vacated by the British. So patriotism cannot come to them easily. It will never come. It is not in their blood. It is not in the DNA. They are, if I may remind them, that Subhash Chandra Bose, you know how he was politically dealt by Azad, Gandhi and Nehru. Yet he renamed his regiments after these three gentlemen because they were, leaders.
Right.
They were, top leaders. So he held the interests of the country.
Absolutely. Arasan Singh, thank you very much for joining us in the broadcast with your perspective. Thank you to Pradeep as well for getting us all those reactions. Without a quick break on the broadcast, stay on with us for more news and updates.